Okay, it's tuba time. So I'm actually starting with a blank index card, just in case you need to restart your index cards, because I know some people left theirs at school today, or you might have lost them in your backpack or something like that. So if you need to start over, I'm going to practice drawing a staff with you right now, okay? So we're going to skip this top line, and we're actually going to go to the next one. Actually, you know what? Because we're tuba, and we're coming way down here out of our staff, you can actually go ahead and trace that top line because we're not going to need it, okay? So I'm just going to draw very carefully and just trace the actual index cards lines that are already there. And you'll notice I'm pressing kind of firm on my lead so that it darkens the line, because that's the whole point, is we want to darken it to make a staff. I'm not just like barely tracing it so you can barely see it, okay? All right, now we're gonna start here because that's where our staff starts, right, on this first line. Remember, we read the staff from bottom to top, so that's why I'm saying this is the first line. Now, our note is way down here, so we're gonna count starting on this first line, and we're gonna go down till we get to that one, okay? So we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4 lines under our staff. So now I'm going to come to my staff that I drew, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going 4 lines down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's right. I was second guessing myself because it's late. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yep, I miscounted. Silly me. It's only 3 lines, Miss Woodruff. Miss Woodruff is very tired because it's Friday. Okay, so we have our 3 ledger lines. Again, if you added that extra one, erase it, please. That's why we use pencil. Yay, pencils, because erasers. All right, so our quarter notes on that third, goodness gracious, the third ledger line. So we're actually going to start our dot on the ledger line itself and then make it darker, darker, darker till we have a pretty good size note head. Okay. And then we're going to draw our stem to make our quarter note, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and flip it over, and you'll notice I already wrote the pitch underneath here, which is A. So we're going to put that on the back of the card, okay? Not on the front, on the back, all right? And then we're going to set that to the side. So the rest of my index cards already have a staff on them. So if you need to pause the video right now and go ahead and do the rest of your index cards, that's fine. Okay, again, I skipped actually a couple of up here. If you want to keep your staff up a little higher like we did on our first card, that's fine. You should have plenty of space at the bottom. So go ahead and pause and then come back when you have all of your staves done. You're going to need 8 total index cards. Okay, so we've already done A. You'll notice we drew 1, 2, 3 ledger lines, right? So the next pitch is on a space because there's not a line going through it, so that means it's on a space. So there's 1, 2, 3 spaces below the staff. So we're going to come over here to our staff, okay? This is the first line, so this is the first space underneath. We're going to go 1, 2, 3. So we're going to draw 2 ledger lines, okay? Again, you see there's 2 ledger lines here, right? Now we have 2 ledger lines. Okay, again, the way Miss Woodruff did that was she went 1, 2, 3, and then she started here, 1, 2, 3, and I just traced the index card lines. Okay, so we want to do the third space, so I'm actually going to come below this ledger line underneath it and do my dot in the space underneath. Trace it and darken, 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 and then draw my stem. Okay, it's not quite connected, so let's make our dot a little bigger. Okay, now this actually has a little, it looks like a lowercase b. That's called a flat. So we're going to draw that just like it's on the left side here. We're going to draw it on the left side of ours. And again, it's like a lowercase b that's kind of slanted a little bit. And then we're going to turn our card over. And our first card was A, right? So because we go up 1 space, we're going to go up or forward 1 letter in the alphabet. So we're going to put a B. And again, this is a flat. When you write the pitch name, which is a letter, you actually put the flat on the right-hand side because reasons. Miss Woodruff doesn't come up with the rules, but those are the rules. Okie dokie, moving on. Now we're going up to the next ledger line, okay? So this is 2 ledger lines under the staff. So we're gonna start with the first line, first ledger line underneath, second ledger line underneath. So now we go to our staff, first line, the first line of the staff. Then we're gonna draw, 1 ledger line underneath and then a second ledger line underneath. Now we're gonna draw the note on the ledger line itself, right? So see how it kind of cuts the quarter note in half? So we're gonna draw our dot on the ledger line and then darken, 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 and then draw our stem for a gorgeous quarter note. And then we're gonna flip our card over. And again, we're gonna continue going forward in the alphabet. So we're going up to C. All right, now we're on another space. So this is underneath the first ledger line. So here's our staff. We're gonna go down to make 1 ledger line. Okay, so that's this ledger line here, okay? And then we need to draw our note on the space underneath that ledger line. So we're gonna draw our dot and then darken, darken, darken. And then draw our beautiful, gorgeous stem. Flip it over. And we're going up to D. And I think my lead is starting to run out. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now we're on the actual first ledger line under the staff. Oh my gosh, we're almost into the real staff. This is so exciting for us. Okay, so here's our first line of our staff. We're going underneath it to draw 1 ledger line, just 1. And then the note needs to go on that ledger line. So we're gonna start our note head on the ledger line. So start your dot and then darken, darken, darken. My index cards are trying to run away. And then draw your stem. Okay, this is another one that has a flat. So we're gonna draw our flat on our quarter note to the left side of the quarter note, okay? Then we're gonna flip our card over. We're gonna write the pitch. The pitch is E flat. So just like I wrote it here, you put the flat to the right-hand side. Oh my gosh, we're almost there. So here, we're actually in the first space below the staff. So we don't actually have to draw anything ledger line-wise. We just go underneath the first line and just darken and make our quarter note, okay? That last card we did was E flat, so this one's gonna be F, 'cause alphabet. Oh my gosh, it's finally happening. We are on the actual for real staff. So we're on the first line. Again, we want the line to cut our note head in half. So we're gonna start our dot and then darken, 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 and then draw our stem. And this is gonna be G. Okay, now in the musical alphabet, way back in the day when they were first inventing music, you know, long before Miss Woodruff or your parents or anybody you know was born, they decided we were only going to go A to G, and then we don't care about those other letters. So when we get to G in the musical alphabet, like on this first line, the next space goes back to A, okay? So notice this A is way down here, right? Okay, we had to draw all those little lines to get to it, right? The ledger lines. This one is going to be a higher sound, and we'll talk about that more later on. But that one is higher up, so the sound's going to be higher, but it's still called an A. So we're going to go to the first space of our staff and darken and make our note head, and then draw our stem. Again, this one has a flat on it, so we're actually going to draw a flat to the left side. And we're going to flip it over. We're going to write A, and then put the flat sign to the right of the pitch. Okay, now, when you get done, you're going to finish. Again, you should have 8 cards for 8 pitches, so 4 plus 4 is 8. Yay, math. Okay, now when you do these and quiz yourself, you're doing this kind of like vocabulary, okay? But the vocabulary is the note on the staff, or in our case, the note on the ledger lines, okay? So you're gonna look at this and you're gonna learn, okay, when it's 3 ledger lines below the staff, that's an A. And as many times as you need to quiz yourself till you figure out and get it in your brain that when you look at a note on that third line underneath the staff, that's an A, then you move on, okay? Now, remember, Miss Woodruff's not teaching you your alphabet. You know your alphabet, okay? But you need to learn to associate, or when you see, okay, that's on the third space under the staff, that's a B flat because it has a flat. Okay, once you get that in your brain and you can go, okay, that's a C because that's up one. Okay, that's a D because like we went up to the next space, right? Okay, once you learn the pattern, then you can mix up your cards and go out of order. Okay, again, all of the lined side or the staff side should face you the same way. Don't try to quiz yourself this way where you're looking at the letter because that's kind of backwards, okay? But yeah, once you figure out the alphabetical way, when you can do it in order like this, then you can mix them up and shuffle them and try to do them out of order, okay? And your goal is to try to go as fast as you can and get them correct. First, you're gonna need to start slow until you learn it, and then you can go faster. Good luck.